What's up guys, Coach Az here, and today I want to give you some advice for developing power in your kicks. In particular, what we're going to look at today is the back leg roundhouse kick. So bringing our back leg up and round, shooting it up into our target and kicking, whether that be to the leg, to the body, or to the head. Now there's three main parameters that you can work on, that you can develop in order to develop more power with your kick. The first one is just the mass, the weight. So how much you weigh is going to affect the amount of power you can develop. I weigh around 80 kg and I can develop a pretty decent amount of power for someone who weighs that amount. However, if I weighed 90 or 100 kg, hopefully mostly of muscle mass, there's no doubt that I'd be able to generate even more force. Now, this does have diminishing returns. Of course, if you get to a certain size, you're going to start affecting the second parameter, which is the speed of the technique. How fast can you accelerate your leg from the floor up to the bag? If I kick slowly, no matter what else I do in terms of technique, if I throw the kick slow, I can't generate the power. The power comes from the speed of my leg moving from point A to point B. If I throw quickly, then a lot of that power starts to come in. So we've got the mass of us, how big we are, how much movement we're going to generate, how much stuff we're moving. We've got the speed of that movement, how quickly we're moving that mass, moving that object. And then effectively it's the efficiency. And this is really where we're talking about the technique. If I move really quickly and I've got a good amount of mass, but my technique is garbage, for example, I don't turn my hip round. If I don't rotate my hip, but I do everything else right, I'm still limited in the power I can generate because I'm not moving effectively. I like to use the analogy of a car because I think this sums it up really nicely. The bigger the car, let's say we were going to hit a person with a car. The bigger car we have, the more damage we can do. The faster that car travels, the more damage we can do. The more effectively we can get that big car to travel fast, the more damage we can do. So the first thing is your weight. You can work on that by making sure that you've got a good body composition for your size. So me, I'm trying to make sure that I'm relatively lean for my height, that most of my mass is coming from muscle because that muscle I can use to put power into my kicks. That's a long-term goal. That's something that's going to take years of manipulating your diet and managing your training and strength and conditioning to affect that parameter. The second one is our speed. Now this is going to come a lot from just practicing the technique, just standing at a bag and shooting repetitions again and again and again, and working on getting our foot from point A on the floor to point B at our target, whether that be your bag, your pad, or a sparring partner. The other part of that is also going to come down to strength and conditioning. So getting a good strength and conditioning coach and a good regime to understand how you can develop explosive power. Because really what we're talking about when we're talking about accelerating from A to B is being explosive. I'm trying to go from a static point at the beginning in my stance and exploding out to that finish point where my leg connects with the bag. So things like heavy squats, deadlifts, and more explosive plyometric movements, they're really going to help with that. The final parameter, and this is the one that I would actually advise most of you to focus on, is technique, is ensuring that you're executing whatever kick it might be properly, because that proper execution is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, and it's something that you can change and work on and manipulate on a weekly basis. Today we're talking about the back leg roundhouse kick. Most of us know what the deal is here. If you just kick with your leg, you can't generate a lot of power. If I just use the force of my leg, which means I don't put my body weight into it, I'm very limited with how much power I can generate. Once I start rotating my body, what I'm doing is I'm taking more of my mass and putting it behind the kick. So once I focus not only on getting my leg to the bag, but getting my hip, my shoulder round through to the bag, then I'm able to generate a lot more force and a lot more power in that technique. And this applies to everything. So let's take the lead leg for example. If I was throwing my lead leg roundhouse kick, it's a lot more difficult to use my body to generate the power of the kick. Where I'm just lifting that leg straight up, I'm not gonna generate the same kind of force that I would with the back leg. That's why you've got the switch kick. The switch kick allows us to bring that leg back and then generate a lot more force and power with that lead leg. It comes down to a difference of technique. Doesn't mean that that lead leg kick isn't effective, because we've got the advantage of the speed, and if you get the technique right, you can still generate a great amount of power. But the mechanics of being able to rotate our body from the back leg allow us to generate a lot more force. So there it is, guys. Work on your body composition, always work on your speed and power, but really focus on good quality technique. The more you train that technique, the more effective that kick's gonna be. Guys, I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I will see you on the next one.